secret of getting ahead is getting started. Welcome back to the fourth episode of Bowl SSC. I, Diya Agarwal, your today's host, on behalf of Enactus Aurobindo, I'm here to kickstart our next episode of the podcast entitled as Bowl SSC. I welcome all of you and duly extend my heartiest greetings to all. As the famous phrase goes, today's world is shrinking, and a direct implication of that is there's no such field knowing about which will be of no use to you. Every topic is meant to be unraveled, every stone is meant to be turned. Being said so, we are here to embark on this journey through this series of podcasts. I would like to introduce you all to our today's guest, Mr. Ved Krishna. Where the quality of life goes for the environment, the quality of life goes for the humans. Being green is more than just being eco. It is an unshakable commitment to a sustainable lifestyle. With this, I would like to introduce you all to our today's guest, Mr. Ved Krishna. He is an entrepreneur and the founder of Pakka Incorporation, a biodegradable packaging manufacturing company. Surely a perfect blend of creativity and innovation with sustainability. He and his team work relentlessly to continuously evolve and create better solutions to help make the world a better place. So, you're truly a passionate, driven, and focused entrepreneur. We are thrilled to have you today with us. So, let's begin with the very first question that comes to my mind after going through your profile. Nowadays, we are seeing that a lot of brands across the world are shifting towards making eco friendly living. Yash focuses towards producing compostable packaging. How did this idea come into place and what was the inspiration behind your start?
Thank you, Dia, and thank you all from your team for having me, for having uh, chosen us as one of your guests. It's a real honor to be here. And also, it's always wonderful to interact with youngsters because you guys are the future generation. Coming to your question, we were basically a pulp and paper company, but we were very, I would say, environmentally driven right from our beginning. All our paper was made from sugarcane waste. We also produced all our own electricity, and that was made from biomass, from rice husk. Um, but what we realized about 10 years back was that all the products that we made were not really, mostly they were used with plastics. So like all the soap wrappers that you would use would have our paper, but there would be hot melt on one side, polyethylene on the other. So it wasn't creating the impact that we wanted to create. So through a lot of thought process, and this is 2012, so is when we actually started the thinking that we don't just want to build a business, we want to focus on creating impact. And that's when the journey started. And we started working on three broad areas: flexible packaging, which is things like your potato chip bags, snack bags. The second is carry, which is grocery bags, plastic kind of bags. And the third was styrofoam replacement, which was food service, which is molded products. So these were the three products that we chose around 2012-13. We've been working on that. We commercialized our molded fiber products about 5 years back. We are in the middle of commercializing our flexible packaging. Our paper has been used for carry solution for a long time. We are increasing that, but we are also coming out with more innovative solutions in that domain. But these three are the focus areas now.
Moving on to the next question. In this pandemic hit world, what is the current state of the compostable packaging space? Where do you see opportunities and what were the challenges you and your team faced during the lockdown?
So pandemic was a challenge on various fronts, but I think we've come out much stronger. On the front of the industry itself, we faced a lot of challenge. A lot of people got COVID in our company. The government shut us down for quite some time, but we are a very, very well-knit team. We believe in being sort of a very, very close-knit kind of family. And it was beautiful to see us not just helping ourselves, because we have about 150 families living on campus. And if the campus gets shut down, we have to make sure that we take care of everyone. But more than that, a lot of our people got quarantined, a lot of our people got hospitalized. So we refused to send our people to government quarantine centers. So we took over 3 hotels in the town. Then we refused to just let our people be without enough facility in the hospitals. So we literally started running the local hospitals. So we learned how to run hotels, to run hospitals, just the team coming together. So, so it was beautiful to see that. Not just that, the team did a lot of work very quietly. In fact, we basically realized that we are still in a good position because a lot of villages around us were suffering more. A lot of migrant workers were returning. We are based out of East UP. And what we decided was, because we had a lot of people living in those villages, we basically gave an absolute free hand. The whole idea was nobody should go hungry. So everybody had access to food. And we said anybody can just take food. And it was like we created bags of different products. And we said anybody in the company can take that and help his neighbors. So basically that became a huge act that our people started doing. Then they started doing a lot of food distribution in the town through some gurudwaras. So just beautiful to see how the team came together. So that's the first aspect. Of course, business took a big hit because especially our molded fiber is directly connected to restaurants. If restaurants shut down, we shut down. So, the demand went down to about 30%. So we had to work with that. Of course, pulp and paper also is directly connected to sort of markets in the end. If the markets are shut, we are all in packaging. So again, it becomes a challenge. But that said, our team is extremely nimble. So they started creating various opportunities, and we were okay. We didn't go into a loss, for example. We still made a profit even in the COVID year, which is 2020-21. It wasn't great, but we came out all right. But that said, post-COVID, it's been very, very interesting. And also with some plastic bans coming in place and stuff like that, we are really, the only challenge that we face right now is a huge supply shortage. We are not being able to supply enough. So we are looking to expand our capacity in Ayodhya. We are looking to open another plant in central India. We are looking to open another plant in Central America. So the only thing that we are working on right now is that how do we scale and how do we scale fast? And of course, lots of brands are very interested. They're all getting aligned to the idea that they have to make a shift.
So, as you're the founder of Pakka Incorporation, so what business value have you seen regarding the sustainability?
So our whole DNA is based on a singular fact. We are doing, so I'll sort of, business is a means to an end. Business is not the prime focus. The prime focus for the entire team, and it's not just me, it's to leave the earth cleaner. Everybody who joins us has a singular idea, and we drum it. Even if somebody comes into our organization without that idea, I think within 6 months he'll be talking the talk, at least, if not walking the talk. So at least everybody knows that that's a singular reason why we exist, and business is a vehicle for that change. So of course we use it like that, and we are just absolutely blessed with absolutely amazing people, and especially because in our field it's a lot to do with research and development, innovation, new technology, finding solutions. So the team is constantly trying to do that. The team is constantly trying to scale. Innovation happens at every level. It's not just products. It's how do you do better supply chains? How do you serve the customers better? How do you make sure that you have the right collaborations? So we have just been building the blocks. And I think we are still, we find that we are still a startup, even at whatever size we are. We find that we are a startup and we are just starting. We have to do so much more. So our target for the next, even the next 7 to 8 years is about 20x. So there's a huge plan in place. And at least we are going to try very, very hard to achieve that.
So, we all know that there has been a hard time to acquaint people with sustainability, and it is still not yet fully achieved. But it was really mind boggling the other day when I came across an article that said making sustainable items require and waste a lot of energy. What do you think is sustainable living actually saving resources?
Absolutely, you're totally right, Dia. Sometimes what happens is that we don't realize as citizens what it takes to manufacture stuff. So as soon as you hear that it's an industry and it's eco-friendly, it's not possible. Just take it out of your mind. There's no such thing as an eco-friendly industry. What we can do is reduce the damage. So, for example, we used to consume only about 5 years back, or 5 or 6 years back, we used to consume about 120 meter cubes of water per ton of product, per ton of paper, for example. Today, we have brought it down to under 30. This year's target is 24. So that's a huge achievement. So from 120 to 24, still making much more. In fact, making much more than we were before in terms of production. But that said, we still consume 24 meter cube, right? And so we've brought down our energy consumption from about 1,500 units per ton to about 900 units per ton. But still, we consume 900 units. So our chemical consumption. So we used to not recover earlier. We used to just treat and take it out. But today we recover almost 95% of our cooking chemicals. But that said, that also needs energy, that also needs effort, whatever, the inputs are there. So there is no such thing as an eco-friendly industry. In the end, you have to mitigate the impact. But that said, we have to always think from an innovation standpoint, how do we give back more than we take? So that's something that we take as our target. So if we are taking X amount of water, can we give back more? Of course, that is kind of difficult, but can we give back better? If we take X quality of water from the earth, can we give it back better? And that's what our team works on continuously. And of course, reduce in terms of consumptions, etc. But there are various things which as consumers we don't understand. We like the idea of recycled. But recycled, there is no such thing as recycled. It's only downcycled. If you consider plastic, you'll keep downcycling the plastic till it becomes that black colored bag which you use that cannot be downcycled anymore. Also, the challenge is the way the world economics is done. It's economies of scale. So typically a paper or plastics will be collected in, say, the United States. It will be shipped all across the world to, say, India or Vietnam or Malaysia. It'll land in Gujarat port. It will take an upland to maybe even to Uttarakhand. The 50% recovery will be there. 50% will be wasted, using almost 70% energy of a virgin material and then shipped all the way back. So there are various intricacies like that we don't understand. Marketing takes the forefront many times. There's a lot of greenwashing that happens. We are told this is eco-friendly, which, for a consumer, it's very difficult to understand that and also be able to impact that. So the change has to happen at the industry level, at the regulation level, at the statutory level. And thankfully, I'm seeing that change happen in many places. So hopefully we can do that, because as consumers, we can't influence change. If you want to have Maggi noodles, you can only take it in that packaging. You cannot change the packaging. So you can decide whether you want Maggi noodles or not. But if you want it, you cannot change the packaging. And most of us will not even write to Nestle and say that, can you change your packaging? So that's the reality of life. Otherwise, also don't have Maggi noodles. It's not good for you. But apart from that, the packaging is not in your control. But you're very right about the actual sustainability.
So, as you and your team are working majorly towards sustainable environment, what advice would you like to give to the youth, and how, according to you, can they contribute towards this movement?
Oh, all of us are part of this beautiful planet. So every step we take is either a benefit to the planet or a negative impact. We just don't realize it. So every bag that you pick up will impact. Every plastic bottle that you pick up will impact. Every tap that you leave open will impact. Every bit of electricity that you leave on will impact. So all of us are in this together. It's easy to blame, government, companies, etc., etc., etc. But we are all part of it, and most of us are not that aware of what we are doing. So I think every person, every human being counts. More than that, if you look at it as an industry, I would say that come join us. We need new people, fresh minds with great ideas. That is how we'll progress. So, more people who want to make a change. So there are many, and I see in your generation, there are so many people who are actually driven deeply by the idea that they want to make a change. And that's beautiful for us, because that's the only way we can make bigger impact. And we are so fortunate because we get a lot of youngsters, come join us. And we are always looking for more and more minds. And we have a bunch of different businesses who are working in these ideas. There's an innovation business, there's a technology or collaboration business, there is marketing oriented business, there's manufacturing oriented business, all on compostable packaging. So of course, the only way we can progress is by young minds and by fresh ideas. So I would say, from my selfish perspective, come join us, be with us, work with us, and try to change this planet, or leave the planet better for the next generation.
So, according to Google, sustainability means avoidance of depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. So how do you interpret sustainability?
In my understanding, sustainability is a very low bar. You don't want sustainability. We have to only open our eyes and look at nature around us. It's not sustainable, it is regenerative. So what happens is that anything you use, number one, nothing packages like nature, right? You'll never get an orange inside a banana. Banana will tell you when it's going to go bad. Your own skin will tell you when it's going to, go off. It's going to get wrinkled. It's going to, lose its elasticity, etc., etc. So nature is beautiful, and everything that actually end of use or end of life is very clear. It becomes beneficial for something else. So anything that goes in nature, anything that goes back to nature, becomes beneficial for nature. And that is what has to happen. So number one, we have to consume less in order to produce something. And everything that we create has to be regenerative. But there's a bigger challenge. Ultimately, it can be regenerative, but everybody is not going to create compost at home. So how do you then create the infrastructure for the compost being collected and made and provided? That connects to another problem. Ultimately, all the farming is being taken place with, chemical fertilizer, pesticides, NPK, whatever else. So how do you encourage farmers to buy more soil enhancing products, which are natural, like compost, rather than just relying on fertilizers? They have to do soil enhancement. So it's a complex situation. You have, everything is linked. Every life is linked. So the key is to understand how our food is produced, how our food is packaged, how the garbage is created by leftover food, and the packaging, how that can be converted again to food for the soil, and how that can go back into the soil. So it's like a cycle, and we have to work on every part of it. Of course, our part is to do with packaging, but that said, we have to keep contributing to the other sides as well. So as we understand this more, and as different people work on different dimensions, the world will change. And I'm at least hopeful in my lifetime it will.
So we have a quick rapid fire session for you, if we can conclude with that. So here we start. Our first question: 3 things made up of plastic that you still use and are guilty.
Pen, phone, toothpaste tube.
Our next question: the best piece of advice that you have got from people whom you look up to.
Our chairman told me that at one point I was very, very concerned that the businesses were not making money and we were not creating value. He said, now you've taken this path and I will not let you shut it down. You can die trying. And that's the best piece of advice. So I'm going to die trying.
What are the three words that come to your mind when you think about sustainability?
Water, land, and sky. I don't know why, but elements.
What are the 3 basic things that can be done effortlessly for a sustainable lifestyle by just anybody?
Carry your own water bottle. Make sure that you reduce your consumption, including clothes and packaged food. And turn the electricity off.
So that was it for the rapid fire. After talking to you, I definitely feel like there's no shortage of innovative ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them. It was indeed a very thought provoking and insightful session. Thank you so much, sir, once again for your worthy time. I'm sure that our audience will definitely incorporate your piece of valuable views. We hope to hear from you in the near future as well. That was it for today's episode of Bowl SSC. Reach out to us with any questions, suggestions, and recommendations. Our podcast is telecasted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and our very own YouTube channel, Enactus Aurobindo College. You can reach out to us on our official social media handles. See you all again next week. Signing off, your host for today, Dia.